a man in his 60s with a 19-year-old woman. Her body is at its physical peak. Firmer skin, youthful elasticity, and a responsiveness that often comes more easily at that age. She may lubricate more naturally. Her reactions may feel more expressive, and the sounds she makes can seem different from those of partners closer to his own age. Everything can feel unfamiliar. But what does it actually feel like in real life, not in fantasy, but in the honest, physical experience of being together? I'm Dr. Eva Danial, and today we're talking openly about the sexual dynamics of relationships with large age gaps. What she experiences, and the physical, emotional, and practical realities that rarely match the fantasy. Before we go any further, I want you to pause for a moment and reflect. Do you think relationships with this kind of age difference can truly work long-term? Yes or no? Hold that thought and see if it changes by the end. Let's start with what really happens in the bedroom, because that's what most people are curious about, even if they don't say it out loud. For a man in his 60s or older, being with a much younger woman can feel incredibly intense. A 19-year-old's body carries qualities associated with youth, firmness, softness, and a physical responsiveness that can feel strikingly different. The novelty alone can heighten arousal. When everything feels new, dopamine surges and psychological stimulation amplifies physical sensation. Some men describe orgasms that feel more intense simply because the contrast is so strong. There's also the emotional thrill of being desired by someone so young. It can feel deeply validating, like proof that he's still attractive, still capable, still relevant. That psychological boost can influence performance and confidence in powerful ways. But there's another side to this experience that often goes unspoken. Along with excitement comes pressure. He's acutely aware of the age difference. He knows her previous partners were likely younger, with more stamina and quicker recovery. That awareness doesn't disappear once intimacy begins. Physically, a body at 60 is not the same as it was at 30. Arousal may take longer. Erections may require more direct stimulation. Recovery time increases significantly. What once took minutes can now take hours or even a full day. Stamina can also be an issue. Fatigue sets in more quickly. Certain positions may strain joints or cause discomfort in the back or knees. These limitations are real, and they often lead older men to shift their focus away from raw physicality and toward pacing, technique, and attentiveness. When approached with confidence rather than apology, this can actually become a strength. Emotionally, the aftermath can be complex. There may be a sense of closeness, pride, or nostalgia, but also quiet anxiety. Was I good enough? Did she truly enjoy it? How do I compare to her past experiences? Those questions can linger, even if the encounter itself felt positive. For the 19-year-old woman, the experience is often defined by novelty as well. The pace is different. He may move more deliberately and with more confidence. She may notice changes in his body, less muscle tone, different skin texture, slower movements. These differences aren't necessarily negative. They're simply unfamiliar. The rhythm of intimacy can feel focused and intentional, which some find deeply satisfying and others may find restrictive. Emotionally, she may experience excitement alongside confusion. Is the attraction about him or about the taboo? Is it curiosity, validation, or something deeper? Pleasure and uncertainty can coexist, and answers don't always come right away. Outside the bedroom, differences become more noticeable over time. Energy levels don't match. She may want multiple rounds, late nights, or spontaneous adventures, while he needs rest and recovery. Health concerns can also play a role, as men in their 60s are more likely to manage conditions that affect sexual function and overall stamina. These realities don't automatically end relationships, but they do create friction. Emotionally, intimacy often carries different meanings. For him, it may feel deeply significant, tied to identity and self-worth. For her, it may feel exploratory or situational. What feels profound to one can feel uncertain to the other, and this mismatch can quietly strain the connection. Power imbalance is another unavoidable factor. Even with the best intentions, differences in life experience, financial stability, and social standing shape the relationship. At 19, she's still forming her identity and exploring her future. At 60, he's often focused on stability, health, and legacy. One is building forward. The other is preserving what already exists. These differences tend to surface during conflict and long-term planning. Societal judgment adds another layer. Friends, family, and strangers all have opinions, and constantly defending the relationship can become emotionally exhausting. Then there's the future timeline. Career goals, children, aging, and health don't align neatly, no matter how strong the connection feels in the present. Erectile dysfunction is also a reality for many older men. Declining testosterone, reduced blood flow, and medication side effects can increase anxiety, especially in relationships where performance pressure is already high. While physical support and medical guidance can help, they don't resolve deeper relational challenges. Some age gap relationships do work, especially when there's honest communication, mutual respect, and realistic expectations. But statistically, they face greater strain and tend to be shorter-lived than relationships between age-matched partners. Novelty fades, and when it does, what remains determines whether the relationship can survive. This isn't about judging or glorifying these relationships. It's about seeing them clearly. They can be exciting, validating, and intense, but also fragile and complicated. Attraction doesn't guarantee compatibility, and intensity doesn't ensure longevity. As an added reflection, it's worth considering how personal growth, emotional maturity, and shared values play a role in long-term connection. Sustainable relationships require more than chemistry. They require aligned goals, emotional safety, and the ability to grow together rather than apart. Understanding your motivations, fears, and expectations on both sides creates space for healthier choices. When people approach age gap relationships with honesty instead of fantasy, they're better equipped to navigate challenges with clarity and self-respect. Ultimately, awareness is what allows intimacy to be meaningful rather than misleading. So, think back to your original reaction. Has it changed? Or do you still feel the same? Understanding the reality behind attraction helps you make wiser decisions about your intimate life, grounded not in stories or extremes, but in honest human experience. When people talk about age gap relationships, they often focus on extremes. Either the connection is romanticized as exciting and taboo, or condemned as inherently unhealthy. Real life, as always, exists in the middle. What's often missing from the conversation is nuance. How these relationships actually feel over time, how dynamics evolve, and why some people find themselves drawn to them despite the challenges. One of the most important factors to understand is motivation. Attraction rarely comes from a single place. For older men, attraction to a much younger woman can be tied to vitality, renewal, and a desire to reconnect with parts of themselves that feel distant. Youth can symbolize possibility, movement, and energy. That doesn't automatically make the attraction shallow or predatory, but it does mean it's often about more than the individual woman herself. For younger women, attraction to older men can arise from different sources. Emotional steadiness, confidence, financial stability, and feeling chosen can all be powerful. An older partner may feel safer, more grounded, or more intentional than someone her own age. Again, this doesn't invalidate the connection, but it does shape it. When both people understand what they're responding to, they're less likely to project fantasies onto one another. Communication becomes essential in these relationships, far more than in age-matched ones. Assumptions can be dangerous. An older partner may assume emotional depth where there is curiosity. A younger partner may assume flexibility where there is rigidity. Without open conversations about expectations, resentment quietly builds. This is especially true around exclusivity, future planning, and emotional availability. Another often overlooked factor is autonomy. Younger partners may feel independent and empowered, yet still be influenced by the older partner's experience and resources. This influence isn't always intentional, but it exists. True consent isn't just about saying yes. It's about feeling free to say no without consequence. Healthy age gap relationships require conscious effort to protect that freedom. Over time, generational differences surface in subtle ways. Cultural references don't align. Humor lands differently. Technology habits clash. What seems trivial early on can become isolating later. Shared experiences form the foundation of long-term intimacy. And when life stages don't overlap, creating those shared experiences requires intention. Conflict resolution also differs across generations. Older partners may value calm discussion and resolution, while younger partners may still be learning how to navigate emotional conflict. This can lead to misunderstandings where one perceives immaturity and the other perceives emotional distance. Neither is wrong, but both need awareness. Sexual compatibility, while important, changes with time. Early intensity often gives way to routine, and routine reveals reality. Physical limitations don't disappear with desire, nor does youthful energy automatically translate into emotional readiness. When sexual dynamics are honest and adaptable, couples fare better. When they're driven by performance pressure or comparison, dissatisfaction grows. It's also important to acknowledge the role of identity. Younger partners are still forming theirs. Being in a relationship with someone much older can unintentionally narrow exploration. Decisions may be influenced by the relationship rather than personal growth. This doesn't mean the relationship is harmful, but it does require ongoing self-reflection. Older partners, on the other hand, may feel resistant to change. After decades of living, habits are ingrained. Compromise becomes harder, not because of unwillingness, but because flexibility decreases with time. When one partner is evolving rapidly and the other is relatively fixed, tension arises. Social environments amplify these issues. Friends may struggle to relate. Family dynamics become complicated. Public perception creates stress that doesn't fade easily. Constant scrutiny can turn even strong relationships inward, creating a sense of isolation that feels intimate at first, but limiting later. Then there's the question of legacy. Older partners often think in terms of meaning, impact, and what they leave behind. Younger partners think in terms of potential, opportunity, and what lies ahead. These perspectives aren't incompatible, but they require alignment. Without it, future-oriented conversations become emotionally charged. Health inevitably becomes part of the discussion. Aging brings unpredictability. Younger partners may not fully grasp what caregiving entails until faced with it. What begins as affection can shift into responsibility. Some embrace that role willingly, others feel unprepared. Neither response is wrong, but it must be acknowledged honestly. Emotional labor often falls unevenly. Younger partners may provide energy and adaptability, while older partners provide structure and resources. Over time, imbalance can lead to quiet dissatisfaction if contributions aren't recognized or appreciated. What helps these relationships succeed, when they do, is realism. Letting go of fantasy allows genuine connection to form. Seeing one another as complete individuals rather than symbols of youth or stability creates space for authenticity. Boundaries matter. Independence matters. Maintaining friendships, goals, and identities outside the relationship is crucial. When one partner becomes the center of the other's world, especially across generations, the relationship becomes fragile. It's also worth discussing how power can be addressed rather than denied. Power doesn't disappear because people say it doesn't exist. It becomes healthier when acknowledged and consciously balanced. This may involve financial transparency, shared decision-making, and active encouragement of autonomy. Long-term success often depends on shared values rather than shared energy levels. Kindness, respect, curiosity, and emotional honesty carry more weight than physical compatibility alone. When values align, differences become manageable rather than divisive. Time changes everything. What feels manageable at May 19th feel different at 29. What feels stable at 60 may feel restrictive at 70. Relationships aren't static, and age gap relationships amplify that truth. Regular reassessment is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of maturity. Some people enter these relationships for a season rather than a lifetime. That doesn't make them failures. Meaningful connections don't require permanence to be valid. The problem arises when temporary relationships are forced into long-term expectations without mutual consent. Ultimately, the most important factor is honesty. Honesty about desires, limitations, fears, and hopes. When both partners can speak openly without fear of judgment or loss, the relationship has room to breathe. Age gap relationships challenge conventional norms, but they also challenge individuals to confront their motivations. They ask hard questions about attraction, power, time, and identity. Those questions can be uncomfortable, but they're also opportunities for growth. If you're considering or currently in such a relationship, reflection matters more than justification. Understanding why you're there, what you're receiving, and what you're giving allows you to engage with clarity rather than illusion.